What's up, Enigmatologists? I'm back with a long overdue follow-up to my last video, which was a solve of my new puzzle, the Boric, which is a multi-dodecahedron puzzle. So in that video, it took me about 4 hours to solve the entire puzzle from Megaminx to Master Pentultimate. So in this video, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you all the algorithms that I used to solve this puzzle. So if you are looking for a solution to the Megaminx, to the Pyraminx Crystal, to the Starminx, to the Master Pentultimate, and to the Pentultimate, may you look no further, because those solutions will be in this video. So the first thing that you need to learn in order to solve this puzzle is the notation, and the notation is how I'm going to be referring to all the faces of the puzzle throughout the solve. So you have your front side, which is referred to as the F, you have your right, R, left, L, the top, which is referred to as U for upper, down here is the DR for down right, and here DL for down left. Now the notation for the back is going to be a little strange because it's as if you're looking from it from the front. So here is your left side, here is your right side. The opposite side from the front is going to be referred to as B for back, bottom side D for down, the left side BL for back left, right side BR for back right, up here is UL for upper left, and over here UR for upper right. So like I said, it's as if you are referring to it from the back. So over here is UR, over here UL, and then down here D, over here BR, over here BL, and here B for back. So on the bottom of the screen during the video, I'm going to be using the widely used kind of apostrophe system for turns. So whenever I'm making, for example, an R turn, which is the right face, it'll be R for clockwise, and then R apostrophe for counterclockwise. However, during the video, it's going to be a lot easier for me to explain things as up or down. For example, when I'm talking about going up for an R turn, I mean up away from me. And then when I'm talking about going down, I'm talking about towards me or downwards. So when I say R up, I'm talking about a normal R turn. When I'm saying L up, that would actually be an L counterclockwise turn, which is L apostrophe. For me, doing that is easier because that's kind of a good reference point, is either something going towards you or something going away from you. So it's just easier for me to explain it that way. But like I said, everything is going to be on the bottom of the screen anyway, so you can follow along for whichever one you find the most easiest to understand. One other thing to know about the notation is slice moves. So for slice moves, whenever I refer to a slice move, I'm talking about the slice that it is parallel to on the front face. So for example, the R slice is going to be beneath or parallel to the R face. So R up would be R clockwise, and that will be referred to with a lowercase letter. So that was R, and then this is R prime or R clockwise, or R down as I call it. There you go. Once you get that notation down, it's time to solve your multi-dodecahedron puzzle. So go ahead and pick up your puzzle, and let's get started with the first step, the Megaminx. So I'm actually not going to give you any algorithms for the Megaminx itself, because there's already tons of videos out there that can explain it probably way better than I could. But the one thing I will say is that if you can solve a Rubik's Cube, you can solve a Megaminx. So it's not that difficult because it's the exact same analog to a dodecahedron as the Rubik's Cube is to a cube. So the only thing that makes it a little more difficult on a multi-dodecahedron puzzle is that you've got the outer Master Pentultimate in the way. So you just have to make sure that you are actually putting the right corners where they're supposed to be and the right edges where they're supposed to be. But the reason I didn't skip this step in the video is because it is the first step in solving the multi-dodecahedron. And it's the most important step because your Megaminx will be kind of your guide for the rest of the puzzle. It makes it way easier when you've got those fixed centers as reference points for the rest of the actual Master Pentultimate puzzle, because usually with those floating centers, floating faces, floating corners, it gets really easy to mix things up with your setup moves, and your Megaminx will kind of be your saving grace throughout that, because as you set things up, you'll be able to backtrack with the turns that you made in the Megaminx. So once you solve the Megaminx, it's fairly quick. go ahead and move on to the Pyraminx crystal. So the algorithm that I'm going to show you for the Pyraminx crystal is a really versatile algorithm, and it is a 3-edge cycle of this edge, and this edge here. So it's a clockwise cycle, but you're not fixed to only these ones, and I'll show you why. So that algorithm is R down, L down, R up, and L up. So as you can see, it cycled these 3 edges. Now, you can also see that this is not a pure algorithm. It messes things up on the surrounding pieces, which is why the Pyraminx crystal is your second step rather than your last. So the reverse of that algorithm is L down, L up, R up. Alright, so the reason that I call it versatile is because when you do your first setup R move, you can actually use this algorithm for any of these edge pieces. You're not just fixed to this one, which moves it into that position. You can use it for this one, boom, or this one, or this one. Alright, which makes it really helpful when you are trying to solve the Pyraminx crystal without messing up any of the, other edges that you've solved previously. So once you've put all those Pyraminx crystal edges in place, it is time to move on to the next step, which is the floating center pieces. This algorithm is another 3 clockwise cycle, and it is for the D, L, DR, and D centers. So that algorithm is R up, L up, R down, BR, up, R up, L down, R down, BR down. So that's the 3 center clockwise cycle. Again, not a pure algorithm because it messes things up, but that is why it's the second step, because it preserves the Pyraminx crystal edges that you just finished. So the reverse of that, or the counterclockwise 3 cycle, is BR up, R up, L up, R down, BR down, R up, L down, and R down. Which has reversed what we just did, but it's the same thing as the counterclockwise cycle. So once you've placed all those floating centers, it's time to move on to the floating corners. Okay, this algorithm is a little long, so bear with me. It is another clockwise cycle, and this time it will deal with this corner in front of you, and this corner back here. So that's these 3 corners. It will cycle all 3 of them, and this one is a pure algorithm that does not mess with anything around it. So that algorithm is R, U, R down, U again, R up, and this time 2U counterclockwise or prime, R down, D down here, clockwise, R up, U2, which means you're turning it twice, R down, U clockwise, R up, U clockwise, R down, and then D counterclockwise. So you see that's moved this corner to here, this corner to here, and this corner up here. And that has not messed with any other pieces, which is excellent. So if you need the counterclockwise cycle, that is D, R up, U, R down, U again, R up, U2, counterclockwise, R down, D clockwise, R up, U2, R down, U counterclockwise, R up again, U counterclockwise, and R down. And as you can see, that has moved all those corners back to where they started by doing a counterclockwise cycle. So once you have placed all those corners in their correct location, the next step will be to orient them correctly. To orient these corners, it's going to require a big setup move, so I'm going to show you that one first, and then I'm going to show you how to orient the corners. So to set up for a corner orientation, what you need to do is 2R down, 2L down, 2R up, 2L up. And you need to do that 3 times. So again, 2R down, 2L down, 2R up, 2L up. One more time. 2R down, 2L down, 2R up, 2L up. So what that has done is it has swapped this corner over here and this corner over here, and it's a perfect mirror swap. They didn't switch around, they didn't move their orientations. It has also swapped these 2 corners right here. So the only thing you need to worry about is this corner back here. So that was your setup move, and now we can worry about how to orient that corner. So the first thing I'm going to show you is the clockwise orientation move for this back corner. So all that is U, R. And that has rotated this back corner. So then all you need to do is that setup move again. So that move has flipped these 2 corners again and these 2 corners again. So you're back where you started. But you need to fix your setup move. So all you do is the reverse of what you did, which is you are down, or you are counterclockwise, and you clockwise, counterclockwise. So that has rotated this back corner counterclockwise and this corner clockwise. So to do the reverse of that, all you need to do is do that whole setup move again, which is R down, so I've moved those pieces back to where they started from, and now this is the counterclockwise rotation of this corner's orientation. So it's basically the opposite of what you did for the clockwise rotation, which was you are clockwise and then you clockwise. And that has rotated this corner again. Then you're going back to do the setup move all over again. So there we go, we're back where we started, and now we need to do the reverse of that setup move. So that is U, and then you are clockwise. So once you've got your corners all completely solved, it's time to move on to the very last step of the multi-dodecahedron, which is the Starminx face pieces. This last algorithm is very similar to what you would find on the face-turning octahedron, and I started it unsolved so that it was a little more clear which pieces I was moving around. So this is going to be a clockwise cycle of this face piece, and this face piece. So this one moves here, this one moves here, and this one moves here. So that move for this clockwise 3 cycle is DR down 2, L down 2, DR up 2, and then L slice up. DR down 2, L up 2, DR up 2, and then L slice down. Ta-da! And then if you need to do the counterclockwise rotation, which moves this one up here, and this one down here, then that is just L slice up, dr down 2, L down 2, dr up 2, L slice down, dr down 2, L up 2, and then dr up 2. The other thing about this algorithm is that it is really versatile, kind of like the Pyraminx crystal algorithm was. So it's not just this face piece that can be moved up here and around, it's any face piece with this orientation all along this slice. So it's this one here, this one here, this one here, and this one here. So you can shuffle any of those that you need to, which makes this really great when you are moving any of those into position, because with those final steps, you're not always going to get those pieces in the right place that you want. So it's good to know how to move everything into where it's supposed to belong. So there you go, guys. That is how you solve a multi-dodecahedron puzzle. If you'd like to see more videos in the future of puzzle building, puzzle solving, or any projects that I'm working on, please consider subscribing. It would really help me out. Otherwise, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Oh, it's not, yeah, okay, still recording. All right, these, is that R up? Is it supposed to be R up? I'm not sure.